Long before there even was an Immaculata, Joe Simmons was being molded by his parents and the good sisters to embrace three concepts that dominated his life: love of family and faith, respect for the religious, and pride of country and his Irish heritage. The first step on his journey to being volunteer extraordinaire was finding a bride who would support his devotion to faith-related and community-minded causes. Joe had the luck of the Irish when he married Anne Bridget, the true love of his life. Like many Irish-American families from the five boroughs, Anne and Joe headed south to the Garden State and settled their family into their forever home in Middlesex. When this guy first entered the doors of IHS in 1966, a year when gas cost 32 cents a gallon, and the Beatles dominated the music scene, Joe Simmons Sr. entered the building too and almost never left, dedicating 5 decades of service to this school. First on the agenda was forming a then-fathers organization, the Spartan Club, of which Joe was among the founding fathers, and creating the Spartan of the Year Award, which Joe proudly won in 1972. Here, he is presenting a report to Sister James Marita. But it was his partnership with Coach Pierce Frauenheim that truly defined his commitment to Immaculata. As AD and head coach, Pierce could not handle both responsibilities. So in Joe's classic line, "Don't worry about a thing," he handled the ticket sales, concession stands, officials, volunteers, chain gang, finances, and fundraising for 50 years. Joe's commitment to Immaculata athletics was not limited to football. He ran countless sports banquets for generations, and with his buddy Jack Rice II, affectionately referred to as his third son, he sold the basketball tickets for girls and boys teams for eons. Joe was a proud Grand Marshal of the St. Patrick's Day Parade in 1997 and was thrilled to get the Elks Lifetime Achievement Award. Anyone who knew Joe understood his profound respect and admiration for the IHMs, whom he called his Blue Army. Here, he is with a few of his favorites. So, to the whole Simmons clan, Joe 1970, Anne Marie 73, Mary Ellen 77, and Michael 81, Immaculata thanks you for the gift of your father, and we know himself is still watching over us in the Spartan section of heaven, with his beloved Anne Bridget praying for us and cheering, "Let's go Spartans."
At this time, I ask Sister Dolores to come up for the presentation to Joe's daughter, Anne Marie Rose.
Thank you. On behalf of my parents and siblings, I sincerely thank the committee for this great honor you have bestowed upon Dad. He would have been greatly humbled by this award, and I can picture him waving his hand away at such a recognition. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Dad grew up experiencing the challenges of the Great Depression and World War II. But when he spoke of his childhood, he spoke fondly of his education by the Jesuit Brothers of St. Teresa's, the many parish sports and activities, and the friends he made along the way. He also spoke caringly about the great devotion of the Carmelite nuns from Brooklyn. This childhood history supported Dad in becoming a man who valued faith, family, and friends. He had a great trust in God and the plan he had for his life. Dad and Mom married in 1951, and together they met the challenges of raising 4 children with a focus on love of God and people. While enrolling Joe at Immaculata, Dad saw a familiar friend from Brooklyn who was also enrolling his son. It was like coming home. Immaculata was young, it was emerging, and our parents became quickly involved. Family and faith, they went well together. Dad loved being involved in the Spartan Club. Parental involvement was a necessity. He was an organizer. He fundraised. Dad is often associated with athletics, but in the early years, he organized boxing matches, Yes, there was a ring in the middle of the gymnasium. And rock band competitions. Dad was always thrilled when they had a good night and money went into the Spartan Club fund to be used later for items needed by the student population. It always came back to what could be done for the students. They motivated Dad. He valued youth and was so proud of the success they experienced at Immaculata. Immaculata was a constant over Dad's last 48 years. We know he would still be here doing what he felt best if the good Lord did not call him home in 2015. Dad left a file to be opened when he died. In it, we found his eulogy and some instructions for us. Doesn't surprise anyone, right? But of note is the following, and I quote, "Oh yes, bury me in my Spartan Club president's jacket. I was always so proud of that." That speaks volumes of Dad's love of Immaculata. His eulogy cites his personal thanks to the sister servants of Immaculate Heart of Mary, and I quote, "You dear nuns, who I always called my Blue Army, were an intricate part of my life for over 48 years. All of you were always there when I needed you, and I loved all of you." Dad also said in his eulogy that he did not set the world on fire, and his name would not go down in infamy, but that he had a rich, full life. Dad's Immaculata family certainly contributed to his rich, full life. It was extremely fulfilling for Dad to work with the next generation of Spartans. We remember he was so proud to work alongside Craig Manera, son of Lou Manera, who Dad worked with in his initial time at Immaculata. And I can't leave here tonight without mentioning Jack Rice, young Jack Rice. He spent so many years with Dad, learning Dad's rules of doing things at Immaculata. Jack gave Dad much love and quality time. He loved you, Jack. There are many other people, too many to mention at this time. There is a poem, "What Can I Say About the Irish?" A portion says, "The Irish have a stubborn refusal to bow in defeat," and I know many of you have experienced Dad's stubbornness. When he believed in something, especially a tradition, there was no changing his mind, but he always believed what he was doing was right for Immaculata. The poem goes on to say, "He's spoiling and ready to argue and fight, yet the smile of a child fills his soul with delight." It was the children and students of Immaculata that brought Dad many, many smiles. Yes, he is watching over us always with the many Spartans who have gone before, including his and our two dear friends who recently joined Heaven's Cheering section. His message today to you would be, trust in God, live life to the fullest, and live it for today, for tomorrow never comes. We, Joe's children, thank all of you for this award, your friendship to Dad, and your love and contributions to his rich, full life. Thank you.